With the amount that I'm ready to receive and hear, I'd like some details on the origins of universal law. Whose intentionality was it? Was there a character? Was it even a person?
No.
Was it, because every time I hear it's always been there, I feel like I want more satisfaction on that.
Well, first we want to say, as a sort of excuse about why we're not going to go very far there, is because everything is moving forward, and what we are exhilarated about is the new conversations that we are having here today, of which there have been several. And trying to go back to the beginning of anything is not only difficult, if not impossible, it's counterproductive to a universe that is always moving forward. But with that said, we understand a curiosity, at least, about how it all got started. And so when we talk about universal laws, we're talking about vibration. We're talking about vibration and universal response to vibration. So let's just, in a really simplistic way, let's pretend that somehow we have identified or found the first thought. We have to make it up. We have to pretend it, because we can't really find it. You can't even find the thoughts that you began with when you walked into the room today. But you can't, because they've evolved. Have you ever been in an argument with someone and then you lose your point? All you remember is that you were right, but now they've got you so confused that you can't even find the premise that you started with. Well, sort of like that. So let's say that we have isolated the original thought, and by what we know now, every thought, because every thought is a frequency, every thought is a vibration of wanted and unwanted, or of presence and absence. So that singular thought was not so singular because it had dual nature. And because of its dual nature, the two ends of the stick, you might say, in their relationship with each other created more thought. The thing that trips you up is that it feels like if there is a thought, there has to be a thinker. And it's really hard for you because you are creation who does think. So it's really hard for you to accept that when you think a thought, that thought thinks. So let's redefine what thinking is. Thinking is offering vibration, to which law of attraction responds. So now your question is, well, how did law of attraction get in here? Well, law of attraction was just inherent in two differing thoughts. We know it's not very satisfying, but that's as close as we can get. And it helps you if you will realize that when you think a thought, we've been talking about that all day here today, that when you think a thought, that thought is a vibration, and that vibration by law of attraction does gain momentum. So other thoughts come to it. And so other thoughts are coming to your thought that you didn't even think. What? That was my thought. That was my thought. What are other thoughts doing, aligning with my thoughts? That's what we mean by the cooperative components are being gathered. Other thoughts that are like it. And so what confuses humans is that there's that which exists, and then there's perception of that which exists. And humans don't want to acknowledge that anything exists until they perceive that it does. While the ethers are full of things that exist, that are so minute that you can't see them or perceive them, and so you want to call them as non-existent even though they do exist. And so when you begin to allow just some movement in your thought about these things, it's like the age-old question, well, if a tree falls in a forest, did it make a sound? And we say, technically, no. Its falling caused a vibration. But if there's no one there to perceive the vibration, and technically, oh, there are a lot there to perceive the vibration. There's all the dirt, and the microbes and the molecules. In other words, they're all perceiving the vibration. They're perceiving the vibration, but the question is, if the tree falls in the forest and there's no one there to hear it, did it make a sound? Well, if there's no one there to hear it, then there was no one with hearing mechanism that translated that vibration into sound. Your senses, that's all you're doing. Your eyes translate vibration into what you see. Your ears translate vibration into what you hear. And so there's a lot of confusion about the difference between an actual vibrating thought and universal's response to it and my perception of it. What happens as there is evolution is that your ability to understand your environment and utilize your physicality and interpret vibration through your physical senses and use your thinking mechanism, especially in concert with source energy who's thinking about all of this, then you begin to discover that if this time-space reality, which is all that you can perceive, has the wherewithal to inspire a new desire, a new thought desire within you, then it is certain that it has the wherewithal to deliver the full manifestation of it. The question is, can creation go beyond perception? Which takes us right back to your original question. Think about your original question. Isn't that right where it is? Can creation go beyond perception? Yeah, but it's really slow going. And everything has the ability to perceive. So was there an orchestrator? Was there a godlike figure who had figured it all out? Was there consciousness like that? Of course. Does that which man wants to call God, does source energy, does it have a perception that is more expansive than my own? Yeah, way more expansive than your own. But that source energy, as it relates to you and those like you who are here, that source energy is perceiving through your lens. It's that co-creation of non-physical and physical that makes what's happening here in this time and space reality so delicious. So now where are you?
Satisfied. Thank you.
Yeah. Enough?
Yeah.